welcome to the Space Inc. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Uh, how did you begin your journey as a poet?
Well, I just mentioned it out here. Till the age of 12, I had no idea what I wanted to be.
Right.
And then I saw a copy of Life magazine, which had a two-page center spread in black and white, which said a picture of a veranda looking out from inside. And it said, "Si muero el dahad, si muero. Si muero el dahad," which meant that when I die, open the balcony.
Right.
Si muero, balcón abierto.
Right.
When I die, open the balcony. And it was signed by Federico Garcia Lorca. I learned Spanish to read him in original, and I decided at 12 that I will be a poet.
It's a great thing. And when was your first book published?
When I was 17, I think.
Okay.
17.
It's a great thing.
And it was called Of Gobs and Olives, and it was published by the Writers' Workshop.
Okay. Pilas.
Pilar's Writers' Workshop.
Yeah. Great thing. And what about your subsequent books?
Oh, they were published from all over the world thereafter. The next book was also published at Pilar, On Either Side of Arrogance. And after that, it was many books were published from many parts of the world.
Right.
From the outer bank of the Brahmaputra was published from the US. Then In Secret Anarchy was published from Mexico City. So they were published from all over the place, and I was writing for many magazines and newspapers. And in those days, people used to publish poetry, which was wonderful.
Yeah.
And that has somehow diminished.
You're Bengali yourself.
Absolutely. Fully and completely, totally.
So why did you think of writing in English?
Because Bengali is my mother's tongue. English is a language which I decided I would choose as my tongue.
Okay. Hey, that's the answer that I absolutely love.
Thank you.
And
You must remember that if you were to talk about 10 of the world's greatest living writers in English, at least 5 of them would be Indian. That's the magic of being an English writer from India.
right.
Indians write English better than most people in the world.
And I know about your album, Lonesome Street, that came out. You were reciting your poems in Ananda Shankar, designing the
There's
backgrounds.
another one, Hazaro Khwaishein. It's a film that I made.
Right.
Sudhir Mishra made. I produced it. And that album there has 2 poems by me also.
So how was the association with Ananda Shankar as a musician?
Well, excellent. Ananda was a very excitable young man, and he wanted to do music and poetry together, and I was excited about doing it. And we went to Anil Sood, who I think was the managing director of HMV at the time, and Anil jumped at the idea, and we had the album. The album was a huge success, and ever since that I wanted to do one with Ravi Shankar, but the Ravi Shankar one never finally happened because both of us were excited to do it, but it didn't happen because it was always incomplete.
Right. And then you took a hiatus from writing poems.
I couldn't get a job in this city that would allow me to be a journalist full time.
Right. So
I
you wanted
tried.
to be a journalist.
I'd written some cover stories for Sunday, which had done very well. I've been doing the books editor for Telegraph, which was doing well. I'm the poetry editor for the Illustrated Weekly, which was doing well. And I wanted to be a full-time journalist since I was doing so much of journalistic work. And I was writing so many stories. But I couldn't get a job here. So I finally met a gentleman on a flight back from Bombay when I got the Bhabha Fellowship, who said, "Don't take the Bhabha Fellowship." Because I was planning to build a ship, sail down around the Cape of Good Hope and land in Calicut. And he said, "Don't be foolhardy. Come and join my company." and run it for us. So that's how I joined the Times of India.
Right. And then again, you resumed writing poems with your book Stuck
Yes,
on
I did.
1 by 40.
After I did a decade of that,
Right.
after Times of India, in journalism, I gave up journalism,
Mm-hmm.
full-time journalism. I gave up full-time journalism and decided to find what to do. And I did several books after that. There's a book called Again,
Yeah, I've read
which
it.
was the first one
Okay.
after
Yeah, it's a big
the
one.
break. Yeah, the big one. And then I did Stuck on 140. And now my collected poems are being done. My selected poems are being brought out. A Pritish Nandy reader is coming out. Whole lot of books are coming out now.
Okay. So do
Hopefully
we
some
get
will.
an anthology of your poems?
That will happen. That will happen
And
in
a
the
republishing
coming year.
of your previous books?
That I don't know. But one of them has been republished, Tonight This Savage Right,
Right.
which was
I've read
republished
that.
by HarperCollins.
Right.
But the others, we're hoping will get republished. But the new ones will definitely happen this year.
Right.
Coming in.
Waiting for it. And how was your experience of collaborating with Kamala Das?
Oh, I loved it. Kamala has been an old friend, and she passed away unfortunately, but she was a very fine poet, and I loved her work. And she had written a lot of love poems, and I had written a lot of love poems, and the publishers thought it would be a great idea to put them together.
Right.
So that's how this book happened.
Right. That was a delightful read, I must say. I loved it.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
somewhere I felt that the two resonated, and
I think there was a resonance there, yes.
and that's the part that I love the most about the book. And as a journalist, your biggest achievement was interviewing Kishore Kumar.
Not really my biggest. I mean, I've done a lot of stories.
Right.
During my,
Would you consider that as something?
I think that was an interesting part of my life as a journalist. I have done some more impactful stories also.
Right.
And I've done stories that have hopefully will have an enduring impact on Indian politics and Indian culture, literature, many things.
Right. So
But yes, the Kishore Kumar interview was important in my life, yes.
you not only interviewed Kishore Kumar, but some of the most important figures of the music industry and beyond, like Pandit Ravi Shankar, Lata Mangeshkar, then P.C. Sharkar.
I've done a lot of people interview.
Some of them are coming up on
In
YouTube.
print,
lately.
some in print, some and some for television, which appear on television, national television. And now I don't do that anymore because now we make movies and we make television shows and stuff like that. Just moved on. My life keeps taking me to different places at different times. And this is just one example of that. I mean, I've been doing multiple things at multiple times.
Right.
That's the story of my life.
That's what you are. Different people know Pritish Nandy differently. So,
right. That's right.
and probably you were the youngest poet to be translated into Bengali by one very senior poet of our city, Shakti Chattopadhyay.
Yes.
So,
yes. He did a whole book of my poems.
Right.
Pritish Nandy poem. But of course, then I mean, I was published in Hindi, Assamese, Oriya. I've been published in all Indian languages as well. But Shakti's translation was outstanding. I would like to believe it's better than my originals.
And how about your own translations of some?
I did about
poems
200
like,
poems
Right.
for the University of Chicago once, of Bengali poetry.
You read out Jibanananda Das's
Poetry. And I've done about 200, 300 poems that I've
Do we
translated.
get them as a book?
Well, the University of Chicago brought them out many years ago.
Okay.
And I'm trying to persuade them to give me the right to publish it here.
Right, please do, because it's us who's going all going to be enriched by the publication.
That we've done. I've translated from Urdu. Again, friends of mine, Kaifi Yazmi, Sahir Uzianvi,
Yeah.
people, other poets, Sardar Jafri, Makdum Mohiuddin, translated from Urdu a lot also.
Amrita Pritam.
Amrita Pritam I've translated, yes. Right. You know, more than most people do, yes.
And may I please request you to recite one of your poems,
Well,
even if that's a few lines. And my most favorite Pritish Nandy poem happens to be Calcutta If You Must Exile Me.
that I'm afraid it's too long a poem to remember. But
I have it.
Calcutta, if you must exile me, wound my lips before I go. Only words remain in the gentle touch of your finger on my lips. Calcutta, burn my eyes before I go into the night. The headless corpse in a Dhakuria by-lane, the battered youth, his brains blown out, and the silent vigil that takes you to Potoldanga Lane, where they will gun you down without vengeance or hate. Calcutta, if you must exile me, burn my eyes before I go. They will pull you down from the artillery monument and torture each broken rib beneath your up-thrust breasts. They will tear the anguish from your sullen eyes and thrust the bayonet between your thighs. Calcutta, they will tear you apart, Jolashanda-like. They will tie your hands on either side and hang you from a wordless cross. And when your silence protests, they will execute all the words that you met and synchronized. Calcutta, they will burn you at the stake. Calcutta, flex the vengeance in your thighs and burn silently in the despair of flesh. If you feel like suicide, take a rickshaw to Shonagati and share the sullen pride in the eyes of women who have willfully died. Wait for me outside the Ujjala theatre, and I will bring you the blood of that armless leper who went mad before hunger and death met in his wounds. I will show you the fatigue of that woman who died near Chitpur out of sheer boredom, and the cages of Balabazar, where passion hides in the wrinkles of virgins who have aged waiting for a sexless war that never came. Only obscene lust remains in their eyes after time has wintered their exacting thighs. And I will show you the hawker who died with Calcutta in his eyes. Calcutta, if you must exile me, destroy my sanity before I go. I still feel the same about Calcutta.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.